Thank you. Do y'all need me to start over? But I'll just start with there's some great things that are going on in the city. This building that you are in today, hopefully within 24 months, it will not be here. We're building a brand new complex off of Crestwood Boulevard. We're moving our admin building there. The police department is going to be there, courts, inspections, water. And we are really looking forward to it. This building is kind of dysfunctional. We've been in here for over 50 years, and it's about time for us to be able to move and to be able to enjoy a new facility. So we are really looking forward to that. When I ran for office, it was based on five things, and that was education, employee empowerment, the environment, economic development, and ecotourism, which means that whenever I began to process something in my mind that we want to do here in the city, I run it through those five E's to see that it makes sense. And I would say that we've been very successful by using that bottle. We plan on continuing to do that if I'm given an opportunity to serve in the next term. Maybe people may want to go in a different direction. I hope that they will not want to be able to do that. But I'm really looking to serve the city of Irondale for a long time. A long time could be another term, it could be two terms, or it could be zero terms at all. We believe in investing in education. Since I've been in office, we've probably has invested into Shades Valley, JCIB, Irondale Community School, Grantswood, over, I would say maybe close to a $500,000 in 4 years, which is great. When I walked into office, we had probably put about $30,000 into the school system. We believe in filling the gap. There are certain things that the school system don't have the funds to be able to do it. The goal of the city is to be able to provide the support for them to be able to do those things. A few of them are when it comes to dealing with kids that have disabilities, dealing with ESL, second language for students. We're also looking at providing funding to make sure that they can get to school. There seem to be some problems with making sure that there's enough buses that are running to do that. Here at the City of Irondale, we're here to be able to provide solutions, not problems. We are problem solvers. And if we're not doing that, we're not doing our job. Those are several things that are going on at the city. Also, I want to be able to invite you all to be here in the month of February for the State of the City. It's called Big in 25. And we have some real big projects that are on board. I'm going to allow my trusted colleagues to be able to share those things with you, which means that I am not going to belabor the hour. I know they're sitting there on pins and needles. And now, the stars of the show. And I will begin with our Senior Activity Director. Her name is Miss Julie Wright. She's been with us less than 4 months, but she's doing an awesome job. She just took the seniors on a field trip to Selma. She said that it was a sobering experience. And my question to her was, I didn't know that it was supposed to be a drinking trip. But apparently everybody made it back in one piece. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Julie to be able to share with you what's going on in our Senior Activity Center. Julie, it's all yours.
Thank y'all. The Senior Activity Center is going big in 25. I wanted to share with you that there have been dozens of studies done that show that having a solid community is the most important component of having a good older age. And we offer a lot of community building opportunities at the Senior Center. We are open to anybody age 55 and older, not only in the community of Irondale, but also in surrounding communities. Our hours are 8:30 to 3, Monday through Friday, and we pack as much as we possibly can in those hours. Each day we start with instructor-led exercise classes and line dancing. That gets our blood flowing. And we offer weekly activities in things like ceramics and art and knitting, and hope to add mahjong next week. How many know what mahjong is? It's fun. Y'all come learn. We have special projects, special art projects each month, like a sip and paint. We don't, as the mayor said, we don't drink alcohol. We had hot chocolate and painted. This month, we're going to be writing our own stories. It's Black History Month, and we all have stories to tell. So we have a creative writing instructor that's going to come lead us in that. We have special speakers on topics that range from genealogy to Nat King Cole and his music to travel. And we've restarted the men's breakfast. And at each of the men's breakfasts, I invite a special guest to be a conversation catalyst. Last month, we had the director of Rickwood Field. This month, we'll have two reporters from the Birmingham Business Journal to talk about money and commercial real estate. As the mayor said, we love field trips and outings. The trip to Selma was a tremendous success. We'll plan to go somewhere every month. In February, we'll go to the Civil Rights Institute, and then after that, we're going bowling. We're planning a trip to Charleston in the fall. We love to eat. We have a lunch bunch that goes to a different restaurant each month, and on these two beautiful brand new buses. They still smell brand new. Movies and popcorn are very popular, as are card games and board games. And we don't miss celebrating any holiday. We're going to have a big Valentine's party. We have several programs for Black History Month, which y'all may want to come back for the Soul Food Potluck Lunch. That's going to be very popular. We have several Bible studies. We're located at 5313 Beacon Drive. Our phone number is 205 951 1418. Our monthly calendars can be found on the city's website, but I have a couple of copies back there. So encourage anybody age 55 and older to come and help start building your community. I've got to leave to go. I have 30 high school students that are going to lead us in karaoke, and they're at our senior center right now. So if y'all have any questions about the senior center, I'll defer to the mayor.
All right, you all give Julie a hand for sharing with us what's going on in the Senior Activity Center. She's doing an excellent job. And I believe that she planned all of this so that you all could not ask her questions. But we are very grateful to be able to have her. Our city clerk is not here today. That's Miss Lee Allison. I'll give you a very brief overview of what Lee does in her position. After all, I was in that job for about 8 years before I was either elevated or demoted to become the mayor. Currently, we have the largest budget in the history of the city of Irondale. It's over $37 million. We were projecting a $3 million surplus with about $16 million in reserve. We're really looking forward to moving into the new municipal complex. We're going to spend over $15 million building this brand new building on Crestwood Boulevard that will house our admin building, our admin, our police, our courts, inspections, and water, all under one roof, which means that we will get out of this old building that is here. We just implemented a new piece of software, which is called ClearGov. I know you all hear a lot of people talking about they want to be able to see transparency in government. We are now one of 3 municipalities throughout the state of Alabama that has a piece of software that is called ClearGov. You can go on this website and you can see everything financially, what has happened in the city of Irondale over the last 5 years. If you want to be able to see the amount of revenue, expenses, if you want to keep up with our capital projects, all that information is there on that website. Although I hate the word transparency, we are being as transparent as we can be to be able to provide our citizens with all of the information that's going on in the city of Irondale. We also have a smartphone app. I hate to say that our Android users still has not caught up with our iPhone users, but we have over 2,000 individuals that is currently using the app here at the city. It allows us to be able to get out information instantaneously. It also puts it in a place where you don't have to go through the website or check your email. Although we're getting ready to add another feature that will allow us to be able to send text messages to our citizens to keep them abreast about what's going on in the city. And then one of the things that we do, and it came in 2014. I don't know if you all remember when Jefferson County was having a shortage of employees and it was very hard to be able to get your tag renewed. Well, we are one of 4 municipalities that still renew tags here at the city of Irondale. The only thing that you have to do is pay $5 additional to get it processed here. However, you can pull in front of the building, walk in with your renewal form, get your receipt, and walk out in less than 5 minutes. I don't know where you can beat that service in any other place. And then you don't have to drive downtown and have to deal with the traffic and all of those things. But those are just a few things that the city clerk does here at the city. If you ask me to sum up what's the city clerk's real position and what do they do, city clerks usually do everything that nobody else wants to do. And they're also the ones that really run the city. The mayor just kind of shows up for ceremonial deals, but the city clerk is a very instrumental part making sure that the city of Irondale thrive, grow, and to protect the funds and make sure going forward that our city council meetings are less than 4 hours. Anybody have any questions about what goes on in the city clerk's office? If not, without further ado, I will move on to our fire chief. His name is Josh McDaniel. He is very entertaining. He never seen a piece of equipment that he doesn't like. He doesn't have problems spending city funds. And he has modernized our fire department where there's not a piece of equipment that we have over there that is less than 2020. He's done an excellent job. It's kind of like son, talk all the time, but he will spend all of your money if you let him. Without any further introductions, I'm going to ask our fire chief, Mr. Josh McDaniel, if he would come and share in his own way with what we're doing in the Irondale Fire Department.
Thank you for having me this morning. Josh McDaniel, City of Irondale Fire Department. Also, am looking to use this as a opportunity to ask for some things that we need in the fire department today and to let everyone know. So I'm very honored to get to work here for the City of Irondale, for the Irondale Fire Department, just to serve a great group of people. It's great to be in a city, in a department that wants to move forward, and that not only we have the desire, but we have the city council and the mayor that supports that, and the citizens that support us doing that and provide the funding and the ability for us to be able to do those things. As the mayor said, the big thing we focused on is equipment and facilities. We've been able to replace every frontline apparatus that we have. As the mayor said, nothing older than a 2020 in the frontline status. In that is not just fire engines and ladder trucks, but we also, in the last couple of years, have started EMS transporting. We saw an issue with getting private ambulances here, realized it was going to be a problem, and it was the best thing for us to do for the community, to be able to take care of not only the employees and the citizens from the very beginning all the way till they get to the hospital. They get the care that we know that the citizens and the people in Irondale deserve. So that's been huge. Outside of equipment stuff, we always want to make sure we're reaching out into the community and investing in the community. We started a CPR program where you can sign up and we'll teach CPR once a month at our admin facility. We also this last year started a Citizens Fire Academy, kind of go in with the mayor's Citizen Engagement Institute. During that, we were discussing, what we do in the fire department, and I always feel like people want to know more about what we do, and honestly, they didn't give me enough time to talk about all the great things. So I just made my own time so that I could talk about it for nine different sessions. But it really, the first one was really a huge success. I think there was a lot of insight that citizens were able to get about what we do that they may not understand that we do, and understand why we're doing the things that we're doing. One of the things I know that the mayor has really pushed on his 5 E's was the environment here and us using our natural resources, to attract people to the city, whether that's the Cahaba River or, the things that we do to get people to Ruffner Mountain. With that comes potential for calls there, and we have had calls that relate to those areas. So we've really been able to strengthen water rescue capabilities, and our drone capabilities to be able to respond and be ready for calls in those areas. So that's been that's been a good investment by the city to be able to do that. Outside of what's going on in just the fire department, the mayor really pushes us to be involved outside of here too, and to network and get outside of just Irondale. So for me, that's I'm honored this year to get to serve as the president of the Central Alabama Fire Chiefs Association and the second vice president of the Alabama Association of Fire Chiefs. So it's not just trying to do things here in Irondale, but throughout the county, the area, and the state, and the fire service as a whole. So that's been something really been focusing on. We have a lot of growth going on here. A lot of people that I get to work with that have some really, really good ideas, big ideas, which is, what we're pushed to do. And I'm glad to be in this city and to be a part of what's going on and what's going to be going on in the future. So that's kind of what we got going on. If I have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. All right. Thank you.
I'm surprised that he didn't ask for a piece of the equipment since all of the cameras are rolling. Next up, we have for us our police chief. His name is Chief Jason Wiggins, Irondale Police Department. He's been with the city for over 30 years. He started out here, which means that he started as a patrolman, and he's ascended all the way to being the police chief, directing a department of about 40 officers. Without further ado, I'll ask Chief Wiggins if he would come and share in his own way about what goes on in our great police department.
Good morning. Jason Wiggins, Irondale Police Department. Like the mayor said, I've been here for over 30 years. I've seen the growth, not only within the city, but within the department. And it's just exciting to see where we're going and the efforts that the mayor and the council have put forth for us to excel. A lot of things happening within the police department, but as many of you know, we had a tragic loss January 6th. And we want to continue to honor the legacy of Lieutenant Mark Meadows. The mayor and council have already done some things. The police department will continue to do things through the year and in the future. But we want to be committed to honoring Lieutenant Meadows and everything he brought, not only to the police department, but to the community. We want to be here for the family, and we want to be here for our officers as time moves forward. Some of the things happening in Irondale as far as crime rate. Our crime rate has dropped 19% from 23 to 24. Some of the areas that is biggest drops are in forgery, weapon violations, vehicle thefts, and robberies. We have had no homicides in 23 or 24. The mayor spoke about his E's, his 5 E's. One of the things he wanted to do is empower the employees. And there's several initiatives that that he's brought to the council, and the council has supported. Those opportunities include providing the tools and equipment that our officers need to do their job. Past several council meetings, the resolution has been passed to bring us the equipment we need to do our job. On top of that, we've also increased the number of hours our officers that serve in the military have military leave. So it's helped our officers that are serving our country as well. On top of that, we are the second highest paid city within Jefferson County Personnel Board. So that helps us in recruiting quality, high qualified employees. Some other things that's going on are training initiatives. It's very important for us to provide the training for our officers for them to be successful in the field. And some of the areas we're doing that is our pistol range. We're investing some money in our range to increase the capabilities, the training there at the range. But we also have a drone program, and Chief McDaniel spoke a little bit about it. We're one of the few agencies our size to have a drone unit. And we've been able to, like he said, reach out and help other agencies, not only within our area, but outside Jefferson County, to help them in search and rescue missions, surveillance, and things of that nature. We were also in the forefront of human trafficking training to fight against human trafficking. And we not only included the police department, but the fire department, city employees, and our community, businesses and residents, so they could, if they observe something that's potentially human trafficking, they would know how to respond. And that's been huge in our area. Some events we do within the city, we have an event called a Cop Stop. where we'll go into a community and we'll grill out and cook and have neighbors come in and get to meet neighbors, but they also get to meet our officers, our command staff, the beat officers. And it's been a huge success in the past 5 years. We expanded it to the business community where we'll go in and at lunch and invite the neighboring businesses to meet their neighbors. But also we've included the Chamber of Commerce and the fire department as part of that now. So it's just something we've expanded on, some of the successes we've had. Lastly, we just recently got our second K-9. We started our K-9 program again about a year ago, and it's been a huge success. We've helped other agencies, but one of the things we worked on was not just having a dog that was a narcotics detection dog, but it was a tracking dog. And it's helped us in some search and rescue. We've had some elderly residents that's wandered off, and we've been able to use those dogs in that situation. But now we have a second dog, and with that, they've become our most popular officers in the department. We'll go to the schools and teach kids the students about policing, and they're always just want us to make sure we bring the K-9. So that's a few things happening within the department. And anybody have any questions? Sure. Yes. A lot of us, education. One of the things our detectives do, if they're speaking with a victim, they'll educate them and try to talk to them how to prevent those things. We also try to do things when we're out in the public talking to people in our cop stops, at our business on the beat situations, events. We'll talk to them about how to prevent those things, but kind of give you an idea of some of those areas. And weapons violations is typically a second offense based on the first offense, and it's dropped from 22 cases to only 7 cases. Maybe it may have to do with the federal laws, I don't know, but those crimes have reduced. But our forgery has reduced from 22 in 23 to only 5 in 24. So hopefully those things with the talks we have with the community and cop stops, the business on the beats, they're working. Hopefully that's the case. Sure.
How does the cop stop work? Just describe it.
Sure. So we'll go into a community and we communicate with the neighborhood association, and we'll tell them, hey, we'll do this. And usually the community will call us and say, hey, we would like to have a cop stop. We don't promote it. We let the HOA or the neighborhood association promote it. And we'll go in, we'll grill hot dogs and bring food, and you provide food, they'll come. So and the neighbors will come in. And the very first one, I'll never forget, the very first one I was talking to someone, they said, I've talked to my neighbor. I've been here for 2 years. It's the first time I talked to my neighbor. So it's an opportunity not only to meet your neighbors, but typically to meet the police officers, the command staff, and the beat officers that are working your beat. And it's not a Q&A situation. It's not where we're standing up here and the neighbors are over there. It's an intermingle and to network. And it's about building relations. And so that's our biggest goal, is try to build relations and get people to understand that we're a person behind that badge. And it's not just that badge you're talking to, that we go through things as well, and just build relations with them. And business on the beach is a similar situation. We just do it within the business community. We'll get the neighboring businesses around whoever's hosting it, and then we'll invite them over, and they'll get to meet so they say, hey, I'm working late tonight. Can you keep an eye on my stuff or something like that? They'll help each other out and just get to know who's next door. Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank Chief Wiggins for giving such a wonderful report. Hopefully you all that are out there in the audience realize that the city of Irondale is a very safe city. We don't have a lot of stuff going on. I always make the joke that we probably write more traffic tickets than we do anything else, but we're glad that we have a wonderful police department, a great chief. And I would say that one of the things about us is that community policing is very important. We believe that if you build relationships with people, it gives you an opportunity to be able to, they get to know us, we get the chance to be able to know them, and we realize too that we're all in it together. Again, thanks Chief Wiggins for being able to give that presentation. Now we're going to move to one of our newest departments that we have here in the city. It's always been here, but it was a part of the police department. We've now separated our dispatch office to where it is a separate office, serves our fire department as well as our police department. We have Ms. April Dosh actually leading that charge. April is very new to the leadership position. I would say that she is very nervous right now. And if you all would do me a favor, please ask her a lot of questions as we initiate her into her new position. But April, one thing that I would say about April, I work late a lot of times, and before she leaves, she will always knock on the door just to see if I'm alive because I'm a diabetic. And one day she came into my office and I allowed her to be able to see what my numbers was on my phone, and she was worried about I wouldn't make it for another day. But I'm still here standing. Love April. She's doing a fantastic job, and I'm going to let her share with you in her own way what is going on in our dispatch 911 department. April?
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. I'm April Dausch. I've been with the dispatch office 18 years, recently promoted to supervisor. Some of the changes that we're doing now is the mayor has made us our own department. So we're making our process better, making our dispatching more efficient. We're also expanding our 911 program. We are in the schools teaching the kids about 911. We're looking to expand that into doing adult 911 classes. Also, we're also looking to implement the text to 911. There are a couple of agencies that do have that. We're in the beginning stages. We've set up the meetings. That'll be a great asset for ones that need to call 911 that are not able to talk. It would also be beneficial for, say, like if you're on the interstate in an accident, they'll be able to text pictures into us to give us better locations, vehicle descriptions, things of that nature. So that would also improve response times for EMS, fire, police. We're also looking at getting newer equipment. We're looking into getting a new recorder, which will also help with our training, pull calls, see what we can improve on, things of that nature. Also looking to hire as well. So if y'all know anybody that's looking for a job in dispatch, please let me know. List will be open next month. Any questions? We're going back over our policy and procedures manual. As the mayor stated, we were previously under the police department, so we were more in with their policy and procedures. So we're just fine tuning them to lean more towards the dispatching process. I actually have a meeting set up next week to kind of set the outline for when it'll be set up. So we'll have more a timeline next week.
Is the text, is that done anywhere else, or I've never heard of it?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe St. Clair County is doing it. It's fairly new. So it's just now getting started up, but it will be a benefit to have. Thank you.
She's been nervous for 2 days, but she really did a good job. Thank you for sharing with them what's going on in our dispatch and communications department. Now I have a pillar of the Irondale, I would say, workforce. I'm not going to tell you how long she's been here because she corrected me and got mad at me the last time that I said it, which I'm going to respect Dale's wishes. But Dale has been here with us for quite a long time, and we are embarking on a new journey of building a brand new library. I will not go into detail. I'll let her share about that. But Dale is a lady of very few words, but when she speaks, we listen. She is our sage in our, as I would look at it, as for the department heads. But I'm going to allow Dale to be able to come and share. I know she'll talk about all of the new things, technology, the new building that we have coming on board. When I became the mayor, I'll never forget it. I walked into one of the board meetings that they were having, and I said, guess what we're getting ready to do? And they said, what? I said, we're getting ready to build a brand new library. They said, you got to be joking. I'm like, no, we will build a brand new library before I make it out of my first term. And if you go up Grants Mill Road, you will see that there's a library that's scheduled to open in June of 25. Dale, you have the floor.
Hello, I'm Dale Wilson, and I'm the director at the Irondale Public Library. Um, I never would have guessed 3 years ago that I would be talking about a new building, but we're thrilled. Our staff and our board members are thrilled that we will be having a new building very soon. The construction of the new building began last May, and it's going to be 16,000 square feet, which is twice as big as our building is now, which is right next door to this building. The building that we are in now was completed in the fall of 1973, and the very first Irondale Library was started in 1951 and was in a small little room just a few feet away from where we're standing near the railroad tracks. This new project will cost $10 million. And some of the features that we have planned are the children's areas are going to have fun and interactive play elements. There is going to be a teen area. We have a teen collection now, but there's no area for them to sit other than just in general. So we're going to have a special area for the teens. The meeting room is going to hold 100 people, which is twice as big as what we have now. We're going to have a conference room that holds 10 people. We're going to have a reading room that overlooks the front of the building, and it's going to be glassed in. There are going to be 3 reading rooms that will hold up to 4 people, that people can come and reserve ahead of time or possibly use when they come in the building. There's going to be a computer area that has 8 computers. There'll be other tables and chairs around the building for people to sit, study, read. There's going to be a vending cafe with food and coffee. There's going to be an Irondale history room, a small program room where we'll have smaller things that, we don't want to be in the big meeting room for. Story time will probably be in there, but it'll be for other ages too. And we're going to have 2 outdoor areas where patrons can sit and we can present programs from time to time, smaller programs. So our library is part of the Jefferson County Library Cooperative, which means you can come in and use, wherever you live in Jefferson County, if you have a library card, you can use our library and check out. And does anybody have any questions about the new building? It's probably going to be sometime this summer. The building is to be finished in June, but it'll take us a little time to move in.
How much more do you think they will be able to do in this larger space?
Yes, we'll have bigger programs, and we'll probably, like, we're thinking of increasing story times, just a lot of things that we'll be able to do, and that people will be able to come in and use the study rooms, the computers, just come in and, work, rather than working from home, maybe they would work from the library. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Word on the street is, because it's one of the newest libraries that we will have within the library family, that it's going to be used a lot. You know how people like new, but the main thing too is that it's accessible. I mean, it's very easy to get. You jump off 20 and you just keep straight and you'll be there. We're looking for not only the citizens inside of Irondale to use it, but we're also looking for an influx of people to come from outside of the city to be able to do the same thing. Now I'm going to move to introduce a person that you really don't want to see this person, but I will introduce her to you anyway, because if you come in contact with her, you've probably done something to break the law. I'm talking about Miss Dana Horsley. She runs our municipal court. If you got fines, tickets, and matter of fact, they're gonna be in here today. You'll have to deal with Miss Dana. Miss Dana came from Mountain Brook. We were looking for to be able to replace our previous director. I'll never forget. I called her. We joke about it now. When I called her and told her that we had the position here at the city of Irondale, she told me that she had to pray about it. Well, apparently God still answered prayers because she is here, which I'm going to allow Dana to come and to be able to share with you what they do in the municipal courts.
Good morning. So my name is Dana Horsley. I'm the magistrate supervisor. We have 3 magistrates and me in the municipal court. So we have a few things going on, but overall, municipal court handles all of the traffic, misdemeanor, and ordinance violations that happen in the city. So if the police generate something, they bring it to us if it's a misdemeanor traffic ordinance related. One of the big things that we have going on is the environmental dockets. So violations of overgrown vegetation, weeds, debilitated buildings, seemingly abandoned vehicles, and piles of discarded items are all ordinance violations. And these types of things make our properties look unwelcoming, unappealing, and they really do cause a negative environmental impact. So we are, as a city, trying to build a different kind of city. We're looking toward the future. And so these environmental dockets with the ordinance violations just remind people to take pride in their property and to keep it healthy and looking its best. This encourages the onlookers, everyone looking in at us from the outside, and helps us all to value our city. It creates a more peaceful feeling environment and sets up the city to be healthy and peaceful for future generations. Another thing that we do to help our citizens is having our amnesty dockets. The amnesty dockets are designed to help people that have gotten behind with their outstanding cases, fees, or fines. It helps them to get back on track. These dockets don't necessarily relieve all of your obligations or the debts, but you work with the judge to come up with an alternative solutions, such as reducing fees, do community service, and waive different arrests that you may have gotten by having been behind on everything. And we will have a few amnesty dockets this year. The dates are still to be determined. We'll push notifications in the app and the various media outlets when we do have those dates. But also, it doesn't matter when or what you have. We also practice everyday amnesty. So if you have something going on and you are behind and you're ready to get back on track, just call us or email us. All the magistrates will be happy to help you resolve the issues, tell you what you need to do, or direct you to the resources that you can utilize to get back on track. We are planning also for the future, hopefully by the time we move into our new building, we'll have all of our records digitized and be a paperless court. That's the goal anyway. We're getting set up to communicate more easily with the public with our app pushes and the upcoming Text My Gov system that Emma has gotten going. We're always accessible to the public in person. We're here in City Hall and our phone number is 951-1414. You can always call us or email us as well. Any questions? Yes.
Could you maybe talk to me about the ordinances and what they look like and how you would distribute them, I guess?
Okay. So the police have a code enforcement officer. And so the code enforcement identifies these issues, whether they come in by his patrol, someone reports it, or however they get reported to them. The officer will send a letter to the owner of the property or the owner of the vehicle, whatever the violation is, whether it's overgrown weeds, it's junk has piled up in the yards, or there's just trash everywhere. There's just different ordinance violations that affect environmental issues. And so if the letter that the officer sends is not responded to, and the whole point is just to resolve the issue. So you contact the officer and figure out what you need to do to get in compliance with our ordinance. And once the officer does that attempt and does not get anything resolved, then the officer will bring a complaint to the court saying that this person's in violation of the ordinance. Then we summons the person to court, and then we try to hopefully they have it resolved before they get to court, but if not, you can face up to a $500 fine for some of these violations. Anything else? Thank you.
Want to thank Dana. One of our main things, we want to make sure that our city stays clean. It's also amazing that when you send someone in a uniform with a gun to tell somebody that they need to cut their grass, be able to keep their facilities up, it has worked wonders versus when we used to just have someone in a plain polo shirt and some khakis going to be able to do the same thing. They're doing a great job in the environmental court. I want to thank Dana for the job that she is doing there as well. Next we have on board is Mr. Jared Morris, who runs our water department. I'm the superintendent, and Jared is basically he does all of the field work, making sure that our tanks are properly, have enough water in it to be able to serve our citizens, main repairs and all of that kind of stuff. One of the things that I will say about Jared, not only does he have the aptitude to be able to do the job, but he also has the ability to get out there with his guys and to make sure that things happen as well. I would say that that is a very rare quality where you can find a person that has all of those traits. He's also a good traveling partner and an eating partner. Whenever we go to a conference, he also always makes sure that we eat at some of the best places. But Jared is probably one of our youngest department heads that is here, but he is really an asset to the city. And I'll let Jared come and share with you all what are some of the things that he's doing in our water department.
Thank y'all. What the mayor said, you know, he pushes education really, really hard. And before he took office, I had never been on an airplane. And we have now traveled to Toronto and California. So I don't feel like we could get any further. So I think if we do travel now, it will be inside that gap. So it's been a cool thing to be under his leadership and his guidance to see how he manages people and try to mimic those things. For probably the past 10 to 12 months, our biggest focus in the water has been PFAS. Dealing with that, figuring out what we need to do to handle that for the citizens to give them the best potable water that we possibly can. Under the guidance and leadership of Mayor Stewart, we have done pilot studies for granular activated carbon. We have done pilot studies for reverse osmosis, and we took those results and we have now installed some temporary measures, which would be the granular activated carbon at our shop over there on the north side of Irondale, and we are getting great results off of those contactors to be able to serve the best water we possibly can. And it's been a trying process to be able to navigate all the regulatory mandates that will be coming out. We have taken a very proactive approach because the MCL does not go into effect until 2029. And so we have jumped on that. I feel like we have done a very good job of that, thanks to Mayor Stewart. Some of the things that we have also been working on is a new maintenance building. I think Mayor, you may know this better than I do. We have the oldest building in the city where the shop guys are.
You don't have a building, you have a shack.
We do. It rains. I feel like it rains more inside the building than it does outside. The roof is now coming off, and now we get flat tires because of the nails that are coming off the shingles. But it's pretty old, but we're getting a new one. We've got the property on Ruffner, so we're in the design phase of that. And I know you've heard. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the new equipment that Mayor Stewart has backed us on that we need to do our job efficiently to be able to serve the citizens and the ratepayers in the best possible way we can. Some of that new equipment is a Vactron truck. We're able to go out and excavate the ground and not damage other utilities, because now, everything is getting put in the ground. Our power, phone, fiber, you name it, it's in the ground. So it allows us to excavate and not damage other utilities. We have new excavators, all new trucks. I think 2019 and newer. And that empowers the employees to be able to know that they feel valued because they're not riding around in a vehicle that is barely hanging on. So thank the mayor for that as well. And the last thing is we went to ADEM a few months ago, and they awarded us about a $5.5 million grant. And so mid-year, we will hopefully receive those funds, and we will be in the design phase of system improvements to be able to allocate those funds to better the system. Any questions?
Is there a timeline for the new building now?
It is in the design phase now. The architect has it, so we are. They're doing all the HVAC, plumbing, and that kind of thing. So hopefully it'll go out for bid by the end of the first quarter of this year. So, thank you all.
One additional thing I'll say about the water department, and the other one will be about Jared. When I first became mayor, in some departments, we had vehicles. Anybody remember the cartoon Pebbles and Bam Bam? Some of the vehicles were so old that they had plywood in the floorboards to be able to make sure that the employees didn't go through it. And it was also an emergency brake, because if the brakes did not engage themselves, they could just move the floorboard out of the way and use their feet to be able to stop the vehicle. I'm glad that we've been able to upgrade a lot of the equipment since I've been in office. The second thing is that you all do not know about Jared, but I know he's very proud of this. In our Christmas parade, he is a three-peat winner of the best design or float during the Christmas parade, and he takes pride in that, and I think he's going for a four-peat in. Okay, all right. We're very humble and a lot of humility around here, but I knew he would like that if I would point that out about him. Now we have what I call a triple threat, and they're really the unsung heroes of the city. A lot of times everybody get caught up with police and fire because they sexy and they wear uniforms. But these individuals, that if they don't do their job, it doesn't allow the sexy individuals to do theirs. And then also, if they don't come by your house once a week to be able to pick up your garbage or pick up your trash, then they probably get more phone calls or complaints about not doing things, when I would say that they have a success rate of about 95% in all the services that they provide. Their department is so big that they had to bring 3 people for 1 minute apiece to be able to share what they do. Our public works director is Frank Pennington. Frank's been with us for approximately over 25 years. Frank, 23? But he's not counting. But Frank is, a solid guy. I'm not going to even talk about what he does on the job, but he is a man of faith. He walks by faith, not by sight. And I truly believe that what allows him to be the servant that he is for that department. I worked in public works one day for 1 hour, and I was ready to come back to the office. And he's been over there for 23 years. So I want to thank Frank for all that he do. His assistant is Alfred Minifield. When Frank was sick, we were looking for somebody to be able to temporarily to be able to fill his shoes. I knew Alfred from actually preparing his taxes. He worked in the city for Birmingham for over 40 years. I asked him would he come and work with us and to be able to fill in while in Frank's absence, and he's still here with us. And the newest person that we have, the most funny guy. He's just cool. We call him Boo. His government name is Michael Wallace, but nobody knows him by his government name. But he has been a breath of fresh air to all of us. If you want to meet somebody that has a servant heart, I would say Boo have one of the biggest servant hearts that we have here in the city. I'm going to call the triple threat to the podium and allow them to share what's going on in our Public Works Department.
Thank you, Mayor. Also want to thank all of y'all for coming out, taking interest in our city. we're glad to put out what we do. I'm Frank Pennington, Public Works Director, Alfred Minifield, Boo Wallace. Without these two, we couldn't do what we do. I just want to give you a little overview, and they'll tell you what we have coming up. I just want to give you an overview of what we do in Public Works. City of Irondale is 17 and a quarter square miles, basically, 116 miles of roadway. There's 4,500 households at 13,500 citizens. We provide services for garbage, recycling, excuse me. We do all road work, we do all paving, we do all ditches, we maintain all of our city buildings. The 4 departments that make up Public Works is street and sanitation, beautification, and forestry. We have building maintenance and fleet maintenance. One thing about the city that the mayor has made sure since he has been here is we are self-sufficient. We sign agreements with other cities with mutual aid because we can help them. We can provide every service to our citizens. If you hear on the news right now about all the people who doesn't get their garbage picked up this week and they're complaining and fussing, we don't have that problem. We do that service in-house. We provide a knuckle boom service in-house. We run 4 trucks a day in the garbage business. We run 5 trucks a day in the knuckle boom business. We pick up recycling once a week. Most cities don't do recycling anymore. Mayor made a promise that as long as the city could afford it, and it is at a cost. It's a high cost to recycle. It's double to go to recycling what we take to the landfill. It's something the citizens want, and as long as we can afford it, we plan to continue to do that. We are the meat and potatoes of this whole group here. They would not be here if it was not for us. They spend all of our money, I will say that. No, but Public Works here is kind of like this city. We're growing so much, but we want to provide that small city feeling. If you have an issue, you didn't get your garbage picked up, you put it out late, you call and tell us, hey, I put my garbage out late. Or like they mostly do, y'all didn't pick us up. Well, we did come out, it just wasn't out. We go get it. You can't do that. I'm not going to tell you who my server is in the city that I live in, but if you call them, you won't get an answer. Here you get an answer, and we try to help. We value our citizens, and we do the best job that we possibly can. These guys right here, they care, and all I can say is if you want to go somewhere where you're taken care of and you're treated fairly, come to Irondale. I'm going to let Boo tell you about what we do. I'm going to let Alfred tell you about what we do, and we're not taking any questions when. Thank you.
Well, good morning. I'm Boo. It's nice to see each and every one of you. It's kind of hard to follow all these wonderful leaders. We do have that out here. Each and every department has a foundation of wonderful leaders, whether it's Jared or Rich or Josh or Frank, and it's all because of our wonderful guy right here, our oh gracious, wonderful one, Mayor Stewart. But really at Public Works, thanks to the guidance of Frank, Alfred, Tim Penny, we do great things at Public Works. We're usually considered the stepchild, but we take it with a grain of salt. Like Frank spoke on, the garbage is done in-house. Riding the back of the garbage truck is probably the hardest job in the city because they deal with all the elements with the assurance that the citizens get their garbage picked up. So it's not an easy job. Fleet maintenance is done by 3 guys. Walter Bennett's the head of fleet maintenance. We have 2 mechanics, Jeff Nail and Justin McGee. If you ever go over there, Justin's the short guy. That's how we tell them apart. But they're a small staff, but they're very efficient. They do really good for maintaining all the vehicles in the city, whether it's fire or police or any municipal vehicle. They they usually put their hands on. Recycling. In the past 3 years, we've been awarded just under $1 million in recycling funds. We've used that to purchase a new garbage truck, new garbage cans for the citizens, and promotional items which we give out during certain events just informational on the proper way to do recycling. So that's been very, very good for the city. And some of you may know, and some of you may not know. But as you can see from each and every one of us, we're just built different. So with that, I'm gonna let Alfred tell you a couple things about asphalt and concrete. I call him the old geezer. But
My name is Al Minifield, and he's right. I'm the old geezer. In fact, it was after my third retirement that I came to Irondale. Mayor called me, and he could have asked me anything. He could have asked me to work on the back of a garbage truck. I would have done it for him. He's a special person to me. I enjoy public works. I started doing it when I was 18, and I'm not gonna tell you how old I am now, but I'm still doing it. I will tell you I'm past 60s. So, but like Boo said, there's a lot of things that public works cover: sanitation, beautification, road and sidewalk maintenance, fleet maintenance, building maintenance, sanitation, recycling, and all of that's done with approximately 44 employees. So they work hard. It's a lot of things, a lot of work, a lot of things that they do. Some of the things we've done as far as improving the city, sidewalks. In 2024, the Public Works oversaw a $6 million plan to bring the sidewalks in South Irondale, leading to the elementary school, into ADA compliance. That project was funded by an ALDOT grant. And probably if you notice the sidewalks now around these areas, they have little ramps where you can come from the street right on to the sidewalk, and you can go all the way over to the elementary school. So that was a wonderful thing. Also paving. Public Works oversees the paving, and they monitor the paving as well as the sidewalk projects. In 2021, Irondale, the paving project was approximately $2.1 million. In 2022, that project was approximately $300,000. And in 2023, the paving project was approximately $2.3 million. Just recently, this week, we did an emergency repair on Grants Mill Parkway. This is the main road leading into the Irondale Luxury Auto Mall. $22,000. It was a sorely needed repair. The large trucks with all of those cars and vehicles on them, when they would come down the hill and hit their brakes because the previous paving was poorly done, that whole slab of paving slid probably about 10 feet. So it left a big hole there. It was a real problem, but that project was done on an emergency basis. It was done in one day yesterday, and I think they did an outstanding job. In fact, I went yesterday. It was so smooth. If I had a pair of skates, I could have just skated right on down the road. Our projected paving plan for 2025 was approximately $2.5 million. So we don't want the citizens in Irondale to tear up their tires and new rims on these potholes and things. The mayor's done a great job in trying to keep the city travelable, livable, so that we can ride and not tear up our vehicles. So we really appreciate him for supporting us in these projects, and we appreciate serving you. Does anyone have any questions? It's our pleasure to be here. Thank you.
I'll give you all a little context for when Boo made the statement, "Oh, great and awesome one." We have Bible study every Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock for all of the employees. I lead the Bible study, and the last one we were talking about was in the Nehemiah, the first chapter, when Nehemiah prayed to go rebuild the wall. And one of the things that he did in the midst of that prayer around the 5th verse, he said, "Oh, great and awesome one," which he was giving credit to God and asking God to be able to hear his prayer so that he could go rebuild the wall. That was what Boo was talking about when he made that. And the joke was, I told them that if everybody called me "Oh, great and awesome one" for the day, I'll make sure that I show them favor. Uh, and the second part of it is also, there is nobody in this city can say our slogan the way that Boo says our slogan. We're built on 4 tenets. Number 1, we do everything big. Number 2, we're the head, not the tail. Number 3, we don't walk other people's trails, we blaze our own. And the 4th one, according to Boo, is what? We just built different. Nobody can say that the way that Boo says that. I am very grateful for the Public Works Department that we have. I call them our unsung heroes. They don't always get the credit, but they always get the blame. But they still show up every morning, do an outstanding job, and I'm quite sure that the citizens of Irondale appreciate them. Next up on board is our new Park and Rec director. I had a moment to be able to spend with him over the last 2 to 3 days. And I think everybody in the state of Alabama knows him when it comes to Park and Rec. Rich came on with us in November. We just will be completing the renovations at the Roughness Sports Complex for the amount of about $8.6 million. We've given Rich the task to be able to lead that charge to make sure that the parks are populated on a regular basis. And I would say so far, he has achieved that goal. Rich has a military background, loves sports, married, family of 4. We could not have chosen a better person to become a part of our family to lead our recreational sports. I present to you Rich Blankenship.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Rich Blankenship. It's an honor to be here in front of you today and in front of my colleagues and peers and Mayor Stewart, being able to accept the charge and lead our Park and Recreation Department. Before we get started, as most of you know, in the news, next week is National Signing Day for football, and a lot of good athletes are going to be heading that way. I had the chance to sign my letter of intent back in November with this team. Coach Saban, Mayor Stewart here. But I will say, as you can already tell this morning, this team here is second to none. And regardless of what position the mayor puts us in, we score, we get it done. And he could look down from his box and whoever had the ball at that point would score. So it's been a privilege and honor, and I continue to look forward to working with each one of you. Speaking of sports and athletics, there's a lot of exciting things going on. Most importantly is our Ruffner Sports Complex is a foremost upfront things that you will see today. He mentioned the mayor did $8.6 million. If you go out there or you want to spend some additional time, I'll be happy to meet you out there. That complex is also second to none. We have 3 fields out there, all multi-purpose. The 4th field, we could turn it into 2 fields at one time with our temporary fence and play sports. And we are definitely looking forward to doing that. It has a state-of-the-art concessions out there that we're looking forward to partnering with Coca-Cola. And we're expecting great things with them in our partnership. There are two facilities for restrooms, which will be really nice out there. And what I think is a great touch is there are going to be 2 playgrounds, one at the back entrance and then one in the middle. And then I haven't named it yet, but there's an open grass area up there by the concessions. If you get a chance, stop by. It's going to become the flag football area. and all these tournaments and regular games, you're going to see all the little siblings play football out there. So we're really excited about that open area and the whole complex, and we're thankful to have it and get our kids back out off of the PlayStation and Xboxes and getting them on the field. We have an event. Those of you who want to get out and see a great day, March 1st is going to be a fun day. It's going to be a challenging day. We're going to have a celebrity employee softball game. We're going to open the park. The mayor is going to throw out our first pitch. The mayor is going to have a softball team called Team Stewart. There's going to be an opposing team. It's going to be called, if you're taking notes, Irondale Dream Team. Not sure who's going to coach that team, but we will be ready. So we invite you out that day, starting around 10 a.m. to come see that and to get a good look at the park and what we're doing out there. But to build this park and to make things happen, most importantly, if you will relay the message that Irondale Youth Sports, we have our registrations online and ongoing until the 15th of February. We have started to see some movement with some registrations of youth for baseball, softball, and t-ball. And like the mayor said, we are very excited to get some teams off the ground and get some games going on for this season. Lastly, with the new park, some things that still to remember is the Tales by Rails Park, which was opened back in prior to me arriving October 26th is the date. This summer, in working with our public relations department, we've discussed many dates and activities. One thing to make of note is probably the summer series. There will be some things that come up that will be interesting and quite fun for our little friends at the dog park. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
Are there any plans for any soccer fields or any soccer clubs?
Not at this time. There are not any immediate plans. I have spoken with a couple citizens that have interest in soccer, and we will put that in our forefront for next calendar year. Yes, sir. Any other questions? Thank you for being here.
And one of the things, Rich, you didn't brag, but I'll brag on your son. Rich has a son that's going to be signing a baseball scholarship on National Signing Day. So we want to go ahead and know your proud father, and just wanted to we believe in blessing our own people, and I want to give people their flowers while they're alive, not when they're 6 feet under and they can't hear all the things that people are saying about them. He did mention the baseball park, and also I would like to give credit to Frank Pennington. Although he was leading public works, he helped me in designing the new baseball field as well. You can see that he's multi-talented, and small city, you have to do a little bit of everything. There are no specialists around here. Wherever a job need to be done, people identify what need to be done, they jump in and they do it, and we make it happen. Our next individual that is up is someone that I've been knowing ever since I've been involved in the city. His name is Brad Doss. Brad is in charge of our Civic Center. We purchased Civic Center in 2022 for about $5 million. The goal at that time was to tear down or to demolish the building. Brad began going to the facility and tinkering with it and doing things here and there. And before we know it, we had scrapped the plan to be able to demolish it. And we're now getting ready to renovate it at a tune of about $18 million. We're going to gut the entire facility, and there are some amenities that are going to be on the outside that I know that Brad is going to talk about. But I just want to say that I'm glad that Brad is here with us. He also lives in the city of Irondale. He has a vested interest. Not only is he an excellent worker, dedicated, very detailed, but his mother also bakes a mean German chocolate cake. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Brad for him to share with you all about the Irondale Civic Center.
Good morning. Thank y'all for being here. I'm Brad Doss. I've been with the city for 33 years. I started my career with the Irondale Fire Department. Worked for them for about 30 years. I had planned to retire, but the mayor asked me to stay on and manage the Irondale Civic Center. I want to give y'all just a real brief history of the Irondale Civic Center. It actually started out as a dream from the Zamora Shriners of Central Alabama as a central meeting place for their state meetings. It was also a headquarters for their charity work. As some of y'all may know, they have children's hospitals all the way throughout the United States. They built the building and purchased the land in 1985. Over the decades, their membership dropped, and they were forced to sell the place in 2020 to a gentleman in South Carolina. The gentleman wanted to turn it into a entertainment venue, but he was unsuccessful and just decided to sell the building. That's when Mayor Stewart saw the vision, and the city purchased the building and 105 acres in July of 2022. The mayor approached me to become the Civic Center manager, and he gave me several directives. One was to secure the building, clean it up, and then rent it out as much as possible. We had no idea how much we'd rent the Civic Center. This past year, we had over 300 days of rental in the Irondale Civic Center. Some of the events that we had were our very first event in 2022 was a jiu-jitsu tournament. This past year, we've had wedding receptions, quinceañeras. We've had a ultimate fighting contest where they're in a cage. We've had Tough Man. We've had birthday parties. We've had conferences. We've had just, you name it, we've had it. We've had the whole gamut. With this much interest, it was decided by the city to improve the building, and there was a lot of interest rooms up on the second floor that the Shriners had. For example, if you were into photography, there was actually a photography room up on the second floor. If you're a ham radio operator, there was a ham radio operating room on the second floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine some of those rooms and make 4 large classrooms and then 4 smaller boardrooms with a conference table. The conference rooms will seat about 20, 25 people. The classrooms will seat about 60 to 70 people. We have a very large auditorium that's about 10,000 square feet. We can seat up to 670 people in a formal dining setting. We have a 4,000 square foot dining hall with a commercial kitchen. We're going to turn some of the offices on the first floor into a weight room and exercise room. And on the outside, the building, as the mayor talked about, we're going to spend about $17, $18 million on it. About $10 million is just on refurbing the building. We're going to spend another $7 to $8 million on amenities on the outside. And some of those amenities include a splash pad, a playground, and a amphitheater that will sit over 1,000 people, 6 pickleball courts, a new pavilion with restrooms, a walking trail, and we have plans to eventually build a mountain bike trail. We're hoping to go to bid in March and hopefully start construction in April. And our architects are telling us it's going to take 12 to 18 months. So we're looking to reopen maybe fall of 2026. You have any questions? All right, thank you.
Also, I would like to say that Brad is leading the charge. If you were really listening about all of the projects that we're doing, you may hear me talk about them, and I talk about it from the big picture, but I also want you to remember that these are the individuals that do a lot of the work. They're the ones where I just turn them loose. Hey, turn on your innovation hat and be able to do the best that you can. Now, I love Brad to death, but he also stole my paper. I don't know who's next. Thank you, Brad. But hey, I'm gonna have to get another German chocolate cake for you taking my paper. But one of the things at the city, we're very big on giving God the glory and giving God the praise. We know that favor ain't fair, and if it is not for the Lord having his hand on the city of Irondale, I mean, that's the reason why all of this success and the things that are going on is because of him, and even in spite of us, he still continues to bless us. Well, we realize the importance, and I know people say, hey, there's a separation of church and state, but I don't know anything about that. I don't know how you can set your faith to the side to be able to say, well, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to be a heathen at work, but I'm going to be a Christian on Sunday. We practice it here 24/7. We decided to be able to keep that going and to provide that spirituality in the city, that we would hire a chaplain. We now have a chaplain that is also a comedian. And that's his desire and that's his goal. But I've been knowing Pastor McClure for a while. He's his pastor of our Revelation Ministries church that's right here on the corner in the city of Irondale. He's always been supportive even before he became a part of our leadership team. And now he's really a part of it by being able to provide spiritual support to our employees. Pastor McClure, will you come and share with our media what you do for the city of Irondale?
Thank you, our honorable and wonderful mayor. Amen. Great and awesome one, as you sit there in all your high esteemed majesty. We're so great. And we welcome all you guys for being here. As I come, I'm Mike McClure. As the mayor said, I'm pastor of Revelation Church. And secondly, I'm the chaplain for the city of Irondale and its employees. I'm very, very happy to say that our mayor has such a vision and foresight to see that the plans and the awesome vision that God has given him for this city, it could not happen without opposition. And him being in touch with God and hearing from God, he knew that if we we're going to have opposition to accomplish this task, then we also need those on our side that will help us push forward the vision of God. One particular passage of scripture in the Bible, the man of God was doing the will of God, and his servant went out and looked out the window. And when the servant looked out the window, he ran back to his boss man. He said, hey, Mayor Stewart, we're surrounded by the enemy. They're all around us. And the mayor prayed to the Lord. And the Lord, he said, Lord, open my servant's eyes. And when he opened his eyes, he saw that the armies of the Lord were surrounding the armies of his enemies. And I feel like that's what our mayor do for our city. He makes sure that the eyes of the Lord are always open. He brought me on to pray with our employees. I have a great time working here in the building, 4 hours a day that usually turn into 10 to 12 hours a day. But we have a great time working together. God is doing some amazing things. We don't see, I don't believe anybody on the staff see our mayor as a general of an army. Mr. Mayor, we see you more as a drum major. We see you more as a drum major, man, leading the charge. Can't y'all see him with that Mick hat on? Yeah, can y'all imagine that stick? I want to get him some of them Parker High School boots. And I'd like to see, you remember Mr. Mayor, the drum major? I would love to see if you could bend all the way back and touch your head on the ground. But we're so excited for the work he's doing. Recently, someone mentioned we lost one of our brothers, amen, in the line of duty. And I had the awesome task and privilege and honor to go out with our police department to speak with his family, to inform them of their loss. That's because of the foresight of our mayor. I was able to be there with the family to share this news and to get encouraged by the family and their faith in accepting what God had done. So I'm really excited to be a part of the city. Anything our employees need, I want to be there for them. Pray with them, talk with them, counsel with them, sharing their joys, their pains, and keep the presence of God in everything we do, because out here in Irondale, we're just built different. So we're glad to be here. Amen. At this time, I would love to take any questions, please. I love TV time. So ask questions. No, I said ask questions. Think of something. Great question. Great question. I had Wheaties. I'm on the box myself. Yeah, I painted that picture myself. But again, we're grateful. We have a wonderful mayor, have a wonderful staff. I worked in the police department myself for 9 years. I worked with the FBI for 4 years. I worked as an engineer with the Birmingham Cable Company for 6 years. I was 7 years, 9 months, 11 days in the military, but nowhere I ever worked that I enjoy coming to work as much as I do right now. And I appreciate the mayor for doing that. Thank you, guys. We love you. God bless.
Thank you, Pastor McClure. I told you all you would be entertained once he come up here, because once he retires as being the pastor, he's going to the comedy club. We're trying to get him at the Star Dome to be able to open up for a few people. But one of the things I would say about Pastor McClure, people ask me about what is one of the moments that you really remember in your life. And one of the biggest moments is when I won the election, and he and I are out there on the front porch, and he's on his knees and he's praying for me as I'm getting ready to be able to take this position. One of the things that we do here too, once a month, I meet with 6 pastors just to be able to get wisdom and knowledge from them to be able to lead the city in a progressive way. Proverbs 12:15 says that there's a lot of wisdom in multiple advisors. So I rely on a lot of people to be able to help me to make decisions that will continue to move the city of Irondale forward. Now we're getting towards the end of our, I guess you could say, show. I believe that they put Greg Cochran, our building inspector, at the end because all of his colleagues love to joke with him all day long. And I'm going to assume that Emma put him at the end so they would not talk about him, joke about him, and they treat him so bad. But I know that at the end of the day, they really love him. With Greg, what you see is what you get. I don't know anybody that is authentic. They're authentic. As Greg, he gonna say what he want to say. It comes from the heart. It may be unfiltered. It may not have everything in the right place. But one thing that I can truly say, he's definitely a man of God. He has no problem with sharing his faith. We had a Christmas breakfast and Greg's up in there saving folks and they trying to get to those biscuits. But that's just who he is. And I like that he has no problem with his faith, but he's also an excellent building inspector. He makes sure that when people come to the city that they do the things that they're supposed to do. You're in for a treat. The only thing that I hope that he does not do is sing. He's an aspiring country and Western singer, but Greg, please keep it to the speech. Greg Cochran, our building inspector.
Well, one thing about Mayor Stewart, he likes to do things big. He started out with all, you ever been to a fireworks show where they start out with the little pretty ones and you say, oh, but you wait for the grand finale. He puts me at the end because it's going to be the grand finale. I know all this stuff here. I know y'all probably wasn't interested in all this stuff here, but the mayor puts me up, for the end. But, I come here 5 years ago, 2020. I wasn't hired under Mayor Stewart. But shortly after I was hired here in 2020, he became my boss. I had a head full of hair. I'd come in combing my hair every morning. Every morning, looking good. But ever since the mayor has took this city over, my hair has come out. Because it's constant. I mean, and that's what's good about working here. We're all friends. Every one of us is friends. We talk on weekends. We talk, we cut up, we laugh. I can whoop any of them. Ain't none of them do. I can whoop any of them. But I let them feel good about themselves. But I come here in 2020. I've been the building official now for 5 years. It's just amazing to me the growth that has come to this city in the last 4 years, especially. Here at the building department, we're responsible for the stormwater, abatements, zoning. But a lot of things we're trying to do now is property maintenance. The city is really trying to clean up old structures, make people take care of their houses, their eaves. Dana and them do a good job with the code enforcement. We're really trying to make the city look really well. And all these guys are doing a great job. You know, I know, and we're also responsible for the commercial and residential home building. One project we're really proud of is our new Cahaba Crossing Shopping Center. And it's been 16 years since Irondale's had its own grocery store. We worked on that, and it was so pleasing the day that, you know, we had the ribbon cutting up there. And now, you know, there's over 45,000 people a week that go through that place, that and the retail centers around it. You know, we've got several out parcels there that we're talking to different companies about coming there on the new out parcels. You know, we've got a new Mexican restaurant coming. We've got, you know, the dental Starbucks and the Heartland Dental. All of them are just welcoming to our community. Another thing we're proud of is, you know, down here west of John Rogers on Crestwood Boulevard, we have a new multi-use complex under construction, 44,000 square feet, 4 buildings with 39 units of retail space. So that's going to be 39 more businesses we can bring to the city of Irondale. You know, the units range from 1,000 to 1,500 square foot with the option to combine the units to make larger spaces. To my knowledge, we don't have a CO on these buildings, but every one of them's leased. You know, that's how fast they lease. And this company, I was talking to them the other day, they're wanting to expand and do some more. It's a new concept. You know, there's one in Auburn, but it's a new concept to the state. And it's been really challenging trying to make sure that we line up the correct occupancies for these buildings. But that's just 39 more businesses coming there. You know, I know y'all seen the new Guin facility down here on 78. You know, they've moved back here from Birmingham. They've got a beautiful facility. They've transformed the old bank building back into their home headquarters. You know, that's just a few of the commercial projects we got coming. You know, we're working on the Civic Center. We're working on the library. I know they've already spoke on those, but it's just amazing. The library is just state of the art. The Civic Center is going to be a beautiful facility. The ball fields, which Rich spoke on, we've been a part of every one of them. You know, the new fire station, we haven't done a whole lot with it yet, but we've got a new fire station coming also. We've got a lot of commercial projects on my board in my office that are trying to come to the city of Irondale. Since I've been here, we've put over 300 houses, 300 new homes in the city of Irondale. That's 4 years. I know some of the bigger cities, that sounds like a small number, but it's a pretty big number for our city. You know, and we're still getting more and more as we speak. You know, residential homes in Irondale sell within 30 days. The median sale price of these homes in Irondale is $293,000, with an average residential home valued at $267,000 and growing. There are many more projects in the city. We here at the building department are dedicated to ensuring that all commercial and residential structures are built to code while prioritizing safety and quality from inception to completion. If y'all have any questions, give us a call at the building department. We'll be glad to answer any questions we can. I don't want to take any questions now, though, because I can't breathe. But no, if y'all got any questions, I'll be glad to do it. I'm not the best speaker, and I tell the mayor all the time, he makes it look natural. But this is not me. We're always behind the scenes, you know. So, but anyway, has anybody got any questions for me?
You mentioned, 300 homes built.
Mhm.
You've been here. Irondale is growing. A number of new projects in the works right now. I guess how many people are kind of on your team, and then have all of these new projects led to you guys hiring?
Well, right now there's just 4 of us. We've got 2 permitting clerks and 2 inspectors. So we're it's a lot to keep up with right now, but we're managing. We've got a really big project coming. I don't want to speak on it right yet because it's still in the works. And I was going to talk to our wonderful mayor here about maybe getting us some help when these projects come in. But right now it's pretty tough. We're running, you know, wide open 10 hours a day most of the time. Not at this moment. I don't like to speak on them until it's a done deal. But we are actively speaking with different ones.
You said it's a different kind of development. What
Mhm.
did you mean by that?
Well, what this is, you know, they call it The name of the business is Microflex. It's not just your regular storage buildings. These guys can come in here and put just any B occupancy, any business, you know, they want, as long as it's, you know, B occupancy qualifications. You know, some of them are gonna be the auto dent repair, put stereo systems in cars, you know, just different businesses like that. Insurance agencies, home construction, business headquarters, you know, that's where they're gonna put their businesses at. That's what we're working on, just anything that's business occupancy at the moment. Any others? Thank y'all very much for coming.
I told you all he was going to be entertaining, but not only is Greg our inspector, I would also say that he's a good friend, and his wife is, I mean, if you want to have somebody on your side to be able to pray for you, his wife is a prayer warrior. Hopefully you all have been able to see that not only do we work with each other, but we like each other. We honestly like each other. We're not putting on for you today. We really like each other, and that we all realize that we're in the same boat, rowing in the same direction, trying to be able to make a difference for the city of Irondale. Now I'm going to call up the individual that put all of this together, Miss Emma Tolbert, our public relations director. I almost didn't know what to call her because she's had so many names since she's been here with us. I met Emma in 2020 when I was running for office, and we developed a relationship, and she helped out on the campaign trail. And she was so good at doing her job there. One of the things they do is, as a mayor, they give you a position where you can appoint someone to be able to work with you, and nobody can tell you who you can appoint. And I asked her if she would come on board and to be able to do that. She started out as a contract worker. Like I said, she's been called several things. She's been called my stylist, a publicist, an appointee. Did I leave any names out, Emma? Somebody thought she was my wife at one of the speaking engagements. Yeah, that was interesting there. But we're glad to have Emma. When we created the position, people thought that I was crazy. They said, why does the city needs a public relations person? And then they began to compare us to other cities. Well, Mountain Brook doesn't have one. Trustville doesn't have one. Why would Irondale have one? Well, first of all, we're not those municipalities. Number two, we don't believe in doing what other people do. We create our own trails. Who is going to market your city and be able to get the word out about it if you don't have a strategic plan to be able to make it happen? Emma has done a fantastic job of doing this. This was her idea about creating Media Day and allowing you all to come out and get a chance not only to know me, but to know the people that are behind me. I can give her an idea and she will take it and create it. And the only thing I have to do is just walk in. And that's how we work with each other. I'm glad that she enjoys working with a procrastinator, because I wait till the last minute before I say I need a 10 to 15 slide presentation put together. But she's been able to handle the job well. We're glad to be able to have her. Without further ado, I'm going to ask Ms. Emma Tolbert if she'll come and share with you all in her own way.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you taking the time to spend your morning with us. We have now AL.com, we've got the Latino News, WBRC, WVTM, and CBS 42. And last but not least, the Trustful Tribune, which named our mayor Person of the Year earlier this week, actually. So we sincerely appreciate all that you do. My job is to make sure the citizens of Irondale and surrounding areas are informed about the things that are going on in our city. And I could not do that job without all of you. So I just want to share with you briefly about some of the things that we're working on in that area. We provide a newsletter in our water bill each month that citizens can see. People who may not be engaged in social media, people who, you know, may not do email, they still have an option. We email that newsletter out. People can go to our website and sign up for our email list. We're actually in the process of developing a brand new website that will have all current, all up-to-date information for the city. We have the smartphone app that we use to communicate, and then we also are going to start with a service called Text My Gov, which will allow us to communicate with people via text. We still go the old-fashioned route with robocalls as well. People love it when the mayor calls him. This is the only place I've ever worked where people will call the city and ask to be added to the robocall list. That's definitely not something normal. The other part of my job is working on special community projects and events. We have hundreds of these each year, literally, and we put out a save the date that has the major events. Something that we have coming up, we have the ballpark opening that's been mentioned, the State of the City address. We're going to do a community game night next Friday, February 7th, over at the Civic Center. We invite people to come out, enjoy bingo, free food, get to know neighbors. Our goal is to build community, and you can't do that unless you create opportunities for community to come together. So we'll have I Love Irondale Day this July. We'll do movie nights in the park, farmers market. We do a back to school pep rally and other events that allow us to connect with our schools and our students. We're going to have Yo Amo Irondale Day Festival that we do every October to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. We have an arts and crafts bazaar. And we also do a very interesting program called the Citizen Engagement Institute. We're going to offer 2 classes this year in the spring and the fall to allow citizens to come in, spend 6 of their Thursday nights with us, and they get an in-depth look at municipal government and get to hear from each of these department leaders as part of that program. They get a graduation certificate. It's a very cool thing to be a part of, and applications are open for that now. So I also wanted to equip you all with some tools to help you cover Irondale. So I have a thumb drive for each of you. If you'll grab one on your way out, it has photos with all the renderings of the projects that we've talked about today, our save the dates on there, and some other tools, as well as an outline of today's presentations that you can use to help you. Our goal today was to give you a year's worth of stories about things that we have going on in Irondale. So we hope that you will contact us as we can provide more detail about these things and these projects as they progress throughout the year. So thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for me? Nope. Okay, Mayor, I'll let you close it out.
We just want to thank you all for coming out and being able to hear what's going on in the city of Irondale. We want to be at the forefront of providing information that you could be able to share with the community to let people know what is going on. We're delighted that you took time out of your day to be able to come and be with what's such a wonderful group of individuals. Again, the goal was to be able to, as I shared with them in staff meeting, this year I'm throwing everybody out of the boat. Everybody is going to have their opportunity to get in front of the cameras, tell their story, be involved in the public. If you're going to be able to build a great organization, I don't need to be the only voice that people hear. They need to hear all of these other wonderful voices and their perspective about what's going on in the city. I believe that we have accomplished that today. And because you have come to be able to share with us on this first media day, we also have a gift that we would like for you to be able to take away as you exit our facility. They're over there on the table. Take this, and I don't see any chocolate in here, so you're okay. I'm not gonna open it up. I'm a chocoholic, but again, we are very grateful that you are here. Anytime you need a great story, think about the city of Irondale. And if there's anything that we can do for you as well, we just want to let you know that we are here to support you as well. Does anybody have any other things that you all like to ask before we leave?
I guess the theme of today is growth. You know, how are we hoping that this just prepares Irondale for the future?
Well, the thing is, a lot of times people want to see economic development before they see community development. But community development comes before economic development. If you don't have a community that's desirable, then who wants to bring their $1 million businesses to a community that doesn't look like it's thriving and it's on the move? My goal or my desire is hopefully that it will show not only the media, and there is some good messages out there to be able to, feel good messages, and we want to be a part of that, but then we also want to be the leader in economic growth in the region. And I believe that we are setting a trend and we are developing some things that other municipalities can hopefully imitate them to be able to move their city forward as well. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would say, peace out.